It started with a soft humming noise, barely audible, like an electric current running through old wires. Evelyn first noticed it late one night as she sat alone in her small apartment, the air heavy with the storm brewing outside. She thought it was the fridge, or maybe the neighbor's television, always tuned to crime shows. But when she unplugged the fridge and the hum continued, a faint but persistent vibration just on the edge of her senses, a tendril of unease curled into her chest. By the third night, the hum had grown louder, almost melodic, like a nursery rhyme sung through clenched teeth. She couldn't locate the source. It seemed to be everywhere and nowhere, threading through the walls, vibrating the glass of water she kept on her bedside table. Evelyn tried to ignore it, stuffing earplugs into her ears, turning the fan on high, even leaving the television playing static at full volume. Nothing worked. The hum didn't just persist. It sank into her skin. At work, she found herself snapping at coworkers. The hum stayed with her even there, a faint echo in the background, like the aftertaste of something bitter. At night, it amplified, filling her apartment with an oppressive energy that made her chest feel tight. She noticed things, small, innocuous at first. A photograph of her family on the shelf tilted slightly to the left, her heels arranged differently by the door. She wrote it off to exhaustion. By the fifth night, her world was unraveling. The humming wasn't just a sound anymore. It felt alive, crawling over her, through her. She started locking her bedroom door, but even then, sleep eluded her. Shadows pooled in the corners of her vision, twitching and stretching when she wasn't looking directly at them. Her reflection in the bathroom mirror seemed to linger a half-second too long, lips twitching into a grimace when she turned away. She tried calling a friend but stopped halfway through the number. What would she even say? That a noise was eating her from the inside? That she was afraid of her own home? No one would believe her. And even if they did, what could they do? The humming wasn't something you could reason with. It wasn't something you could fight. It was always there, patient, waiting. On the seventh night, Evelyn woke to find herself standing in her living room, though she didn't remember leaving her bed. The hum was deafening now, vibrating in her skull, pressing behind her eyes. The walls seemed to ripple like water, their texture wrong, shifting, alive. Her breath hitched as she realized she wasn't alone. There was a figure by the window, barely more than a silhouette, but somehow sharper than anything she'd ever seen. Its head tilted slowly, studying her with a deliberate, predatory calm. It didn't speak, but she felt it in her mind, an alien presence unraveling her thoughts like tangled thread. The hum crescendoed, drowning out her heartbeat, her breath, the world. It wanted something from her, something vital, something she couldn't name. Evelyn blinked, and the figure was suddenly closer, inches from her face. Its eyes, or the spaces where eyes should have been, were empty voids, consuming everything. It reached for her, not with hands, but with a force that pulled at her very essence. She screamed, but the sound never left her throat. The hum swallowed it whole. The next morning, her apartment was silent. The air was stale, heavy with an absence that clung to every surface. The photograph on the shelf was gone, and her shoes were neatly lined up, but not hers anymore. They were a size too big. Weeks later, the new tenant remarked on the odd humming noise that started at night. By the time she noticed the shadow in the corner, it was already too late. It always was.